One of the common things that we talk about a lot in geometry is being given a line and then constructing a line parallel to the given line through a specific point. And that's a construction you do with your compass and your straight edge. And in algebra, we often talk about that as well. And I wanted to kind of link these together. So you can see I'm going to do two examples. I have a black line and then I have a black point. And I am going to make a line that is parallel to the black line but goes through that point. And I'm going to use the point slope form. This, I think, is the best way to do these problems, and certainly you can turn it into slope intercept very easily. I can talk briefly about that. The first thing we need to do is recognize that any parallel line, any line that would be parallel to this, would have exactly the same slope. It would also need to go in this general direction. So what I'm going to do is find that slope. A slope, easiest way is probably rise over run. So you can see here that it's a rise of 1 and a run of 3. So I would say my slope is 1/3. So a parallel line has to have the same slope. And if I wanted to go through this point is, let's just write down the coordinate here. It's x is 3 and y is 2. So my line, my parallel, would be y minus the y part of my coordinate, which was 2, equals 1/3, the slope, and then x minus the x part of the coordinate, which is 3. That's where I would stop. That is a parallel line that goes through this point and would have the same slope. So rise 1 over 3 like that. It would look like this. If you wanted, you could distribute the 1/3 through the parentheses and then add the 2 and say it's y equals 1/3 x plus 1, which you can see that looked like it was going to be the y-intercept. Okay, so either one, this is the point slope form. This is the y-intercept form. Okay, let's do the red line. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the slope, because again, a parallel line will have the same slope. So I'm going to say it went down 3 units and over 2. So its slope would be -3 halves. -3 divided by 2, rise was negative. And the point that I'm interested in here is -2, -3 that I want to go through. So using that, we would say, well, y minus the y coordinate, which was -3, and then the slope, and then x minus the x part of my coordinate, which was -2. You probably want to go back and just say that that's the same as y plus 3 and x plus 2. Okay, and again, I would just stop right there. But if you wanted to distribute through the parentheses, you would end up with y plus 3 equals -3 halves x minus 3. And then you could subtract 3 from both sides, and you would end up with -6. So y equals -3 halves x minus 6, which, if you were drawing this and you said, well, it's got to have the same slope, so over, it would do this. Okay, so the biggest piece to remember here is the parallel lines will have the same slope. So we got to find the slope of our original, and then we can simply use point slope form to make the line, because obviously the slopes will be the same. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more help with math, including an entire geometry playlist.